It is 9:30. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll mute everyone. Of course, you're welcome to unmute and ask a question if you like. And I have the bridge table up. You can see this. If you've been contemplating, what am I going to do with this? I'll tell you right now. We started talking about finesses last week, and I'm moving on to the subject of suit development that includes finesses, because oftentimes when you need to develop tricks when you're playing the hand, you're going to use a combination of techniques. And I mean, in no trump and trump contracts, the most common techniques are promotion, length, long suits, and finesses. Those are the three. In this instance here, in this heart suit, we want to try and win as many tricks as we can. And it might be actually possible to win 4 tricks in this heart suit, but we're going to use a combination of length and finesses. The fact that we have 8 of them in the suit means that the opponents have only 5, and we can expect those to be divided 3 and 2. And 2/3 of the time they are. If they aren't, well, this won't work. But we can sort of plan on it because it's often enough. If you're luckily, you can consider the case. Well, what if they're 4 and 1? But if they're 4 and 1 in this case, it's just not going to make any difference. The usual way to play when you have ace empty on one side and queen empty on the other side is you lead the low to the ace, low to the queen, or you play the ace first and then you lead low to the queen. And that works in this instance as well. If we win the first trick, that's fine. We were always getting that one. And now we're going to take a finesse against the king. We're on the correct side of the board. And that's one of the advantages of playing the ace or playing low to the ace. So we're going to lead a low card towards the queen, hoping to hook the king. As long as West here has the king, whether they play it or not, and the robots decided to play it, we can play a low card. And now when they return, I've saved all of my clubs so that we can get back in. And luckily, in this situation, I'm not short on entries in any case. I gave myself lots of entries. So I can win now the queen. We've now played 3 heart tricks, and the opponents followed suit to the first 2. So we know that was the last heart. And I can come back to my hand now, and these 2 hearts are good. So we've managed to win 4 tricks in the hearts with this combination. Let me catch up here. Here's another situation where we're going to use a combination of techniques. In this case, we also have length going for us in this heart suit. We have 8 tricks in the hearts, or rather 8 cards in the hearts. The opponents have 5, so I'm counting on a 3-2 split. If I can win 2 tricks with the king and the queen, then I can win a 3rd trick through length. So it's a combination of techniques. We have to be on the correct side of the board to lead. That means we have to lead from the south, and luckily the lead is in the south right now. I don't have to use an entry. But we're going to make West choose a card first and put in the king. When it wins, this is a successful finesse. And what we need to do is take advantage of that and do it again. It's a repeated finesse, but we're on the wrong side of the table. So I'll use my clubs, come over to the king, and then I'll lead towards the queen this time. Usually the opponents, they'll take their ace on the second one. There's no reason to take it on the first one. But once they do, our last 2 hearts should be good. Notice that everybody followed suit on the second heart trick. That means there's only 1 left. And in fact, West decided to play his only heart, meaning that we get the last one. And we managed to win 3 tricks in the suit, or we only lost 1. And that's a great combination. Let's look at, another situation where we might use a combination of techniques. This one again there is a finesse. We're missing the king of hearts, so we can finesse that king. We can hook the king by leading toward the queen jack, and we're on the right side of the table. But you see how this is also a repeated finesse. So when we do it once, well, and it works. If it works, then we have to use an entry in some other suit and come back to our hand so we can repeat the finesse. And then take a second one. Again, we're watching for the opponents to discard on the second suit. And when they do, on the second trick, When they do, that means that there's only one left, and we don't have to cross back. We don't have to cross back to our hand anymore because the king is singleton and it falls under our ace, and so we get the 3 and the 2, and everything is good. Let's this is I love this situation because we only have 7 cards, but we're still going to use length to try and develop extra tricks. This one is, the odds are against you working, but it is possible that you could win all 4 tricks in the heart suit in this case. The finesse now, the high cards are on our side of the table, the south side. So that means we have to lead the hearts from the other side and hook them this way. We're going to hook the queen, hoping that the queen is in the east hand. So before we do that, we have to get to the other side of the table. We're going to use a club as an entry. And then we can lead a small heart toward our jack. And when it works, then we got pretty good reliability that the queen is on this side. But we can't repeat the finesse because we could finesse against the 10 and the 8. No, that's silly. What we want to do here is hope for a 3-3 division of the hearts in the opponent's hands. And this is good news. Both opponents followed on the second heart trick. If they follow on the third one as well, bingo. Our 3 of hearts is the 13th heart, and it will win a trick as well. We've managed to win 4 tricks in the heart suit using a combination of a finesse and length. 7 cards doesn't seem like a lot of length, but 40% of the time you'll get a 3-3 break from the opponents. So the odds are against you, but if you need the trick, or if you're fishing for over tricks, it usually doesn't cost you anything to try it out and see. All right, let's talk about leading the high card. And this is one that we often get a mistake on. In this instance, what's the correct way to play this suit combination to win 2 tricks? And I'm talking about the spades here. These diamonds, they're just decoration. They're here for me to have entries to get to either side of the hand. We don't actually need them in this combination. But a common mistake is to lead the queen. And if we lead the queen, the thing to remember is that the guideline for the defenders is to cover an honor with an honor. If you have an opponent who will play second hand low all the time, regardless of what you do, then this will work. And that's the only way it will work. And that would be if you lead, you lead the queen and they're holding the king, but they play low, then the queen will win. But a good defender knows that the corollary to second hand low is cover an honor with an honor. So that means when you lead the queen, they will cover with the king, and you'll only get 1 trick in the suit. The rest of your spades are no good. Now, your only hope for, and you know, the fact is with this matter, one thing I'll say also is that it doesn't matter which side the king is on. If the king is on the other side of the table and we lead the queen, then we know it's not going to work, don't we? They're going to win the king. So either side that the king is on, it makes no difference. You're only getting 1 trick. But there is a way to get 2 tricks, and we'll do it this way. Let me move this card. And in this instance, what we're going to do is finesse the queen against the king rather than lead the queen. Now, we're on the wrong side of the table to do that, but we have lots of entries to get to the other side of the table. So let's do that. Low to the ace, low to the queen. That's usually the way to do it. Lead back towards the queen, and now we're hoping east has the king, and they do, and they played it. Well, that's fine. And now we're winning 2 spade tricks, whereas before we were winning only the 1. And they're leading the spades now, so we're getting our second spade trick. Now, there is a time when it is right to lead the queen. And that's when you have the jack and the 10 as well. You can see here, if I lead the queen and they cover it, then it doesn't matter because I'll get the rest of the tricks. In fact, I'm hoping they cover it. And that's one of the reasons why when I have this combination, I lead the queen, because I want to induce West to cover with the king. I'm hoping he will. It's sort of a psychological thing. Obviously, it doesn't make any difference if I lead the queen, the jack, or the 10. They're all equal. But if I lead the 10, he's not as likely to cover. And so it's funny that the robot picked up on that too. I mentioned it's psychological, but by leading the queen, I'm hoping to induce my my opponent to cover an honor with an honor. And that sets up my jack and my 10 for winners in the suit. And I get all three that way. So the difference is this, and it's holding the jack or the 10 that you get to lead. You get to lead a high card or not lead a high, or just lead towards the high card. Let me look at some other situations where you might lead the high card or lead towards the high card. Let's look at this combination. We're missing the queen. We have the jack 10 9 on this side, and this is key. You've got the 10 and the 9 as well. So we want to finesse the queen, but if we lead from this side of the table, it does no good. Clearly, if I lead the 2 of spades, what happens? Well, the queen wins wherever it is. It doesn't matter. The queen wins. So if I lead the ace and the king, it's not going to make the queen fall unless the queen is doubleton. I mean, that's always a possibility, but the odds are against it. And if I try it now, no, that didn't work. So what we have to do is get to the other side of the table. And I have my diamonds here to do that. So I'm going to lead a diamond over to the other side of the table. And I'm going to lead the jack. And once again, I'm leading the top card because I want to induce my right-hand opponent to cover it, to cover an honor with an honor. I mean, they can see all of the cards. They can tell that I have the 10 and the 9 because this is the dummy. And usually, you know, a good defender will wait until the last of the touching honors before they cover. So I don't know where the queen is right now. And if the queen is over in West, it's going to lose. But the fact that my jack won means that the queen is probably on my right. And there comes the queen. And now my king and my 9 are both good winners. And fortunately, I still have all these diamonds, so I can pick up the 9 and I can come back to my hand with the king and diamonds, and I can take my king, and I'll get all the tricks that way. Let's look at another combination like that. This one, now, do we lead the queen or do we lead low toward the queen? In this case, the deciding factor is where the jack and the 10. We don't have either one of them. We don't have the jack or the 10. Now, you can't play the ace first. If you do, you won't have a small card to play when the opponents pick up the queen. If you leave the queen singleton in the dummy, you know, the opponents, well, they know what to do. They're going to play their king whenever you play spades again. So we can't play the ace first. What we have to do is lead low toward the queen, hope that West is holding the king, and they are, and they play it. And when they see the queen doubleton in the dummy, they probably will play it. So now I can win their diamond return. I can win my queen. And I get 2 tricks in the suit this way. Here's another combination. The idea here is we want to pick up 3 tricks. We want to get the maximum number of tricks. Should I lead the queen or should I lead toward the queen? The question is, honestly, it's where's the 10? If I wanted to pick up the maximum number of tricks, I need the 10 as well if I'm going to lead the queen. Not having the 10, my best chance to get 3 tricks in the suit is to finesse the queen, to lead towards it. So first I'll play the ace, and then I'll lead towards the queen jack, hoping the king pops up here. And if it does, okay, my queen just won a trick, meaning the king must be over here. I have to repeat the finesse in order to get my 3 tricks. So I'll use my diamonds to come back and again, make West choose before I play. There comes the king. And now I've managed to get 3 tricks in this spade suit. If I led the queen, rather than leading toward the queen, I would only get 2. And you can work that out yourself if you like later on. This one is a fun combination because my intermediate honors are split between the 2 hands. Can I pick up all 4 tricks in the spade suit? If I lead from this side of the table, it's hopeless, right? Wherever the king is, it will win a trick. So I've lost one. I'll win the next three, certainly. If I only needed three, that's fine. You back up to the beginning. If I, but I do have a case where I have the queen, the jack, the 10, and the 9. I have all these intermediate cards, meaning that if I can induce East to cover my jack with their king, then I could have a good chance of picking up all 4 tricks. So when I come over to this side, one of the advantages of having high cards on this side is that if it wins, the lead is still on the correct side. I don't have to use another entry to get there. Notice that my jack just won this trick, and I don't have to use an entry to get back to the right side of the table because I'm still there. Now I can lead the 4 and hope that the 10 wins a trick. Now we need a little bit of luck, because if the king is doubleton on this side, then it won't fall under my ace. I've gotten 3 tricks. This is a good sign, the fact that the West has one, and there comes the king. So that means they were 3-3, and I get all 4 tricks in the spade suit. Okay, that's enough for this morning. I'll stay around for some questions, but we have a bridge game coming up at 10, and I hope you all are going to come play.